This episode is sponsored by 22 Threads. Check out their new stores, New Haven of Beats, and Nutmegger golf collections on 22threads.com. We're at the halfway point, believe it or not, of the UConn football season. So we're checking back in with Jelani. So Jelani, welcome back.
Appreciate you having me. Always a pleasure.
Been a good few weeks for you, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got a lot to talk about. So we could start by looking back here at the Temple game this past weekend. Had it been too easy the past couple weeks that you had to give everyone a little bit of a scare this Saturday?
Yeah. I mean, like you guys saw, everybody watching the game, it really came down to the wire. And Coach Moore has been saying it to everybody in the press and whatnot. Like, that was a really big character win for us.
Mhm.
Just tested our character and all the things that we've been preparing for, all the work, all the details. So um obviously now that we did something like that, we were able to come back, fight against adversity. You really see what kind of football team we are now.
You've been in a number of games here at UConn where things kind of down to the wire on those final plays don't necessarily go in UConn's direction. What was it like getting to be on the flip side of that, where you're able to celebrate a win like that?
Man, it's just great, like even like I was just saying, like just to finally fight through adversity and come out on top. I mean, that's everything. Like, that just gives the whole team a boost. Everyone's really happy and excited, and that last play was just freakish, and nobody budged, especially on defense. We didn't budge. Like, we knew what was coming. We knew what to do. Coach Brock put us in the perfect call. Everyone was confident, and as you can see, we got it done. So, good day for
Yeah.
the Huskies.
So just take me through what's the mindset on that final drive? They need a touchdown to win the game there. They're starting to get down closer and closer. So what's the mindset from a defensive standpoint as they're getting closer? I know there are some people who are like, oh, let them score so you get time back with the ball. What's the mindset like from you guys that past Saturday?
Honestly, it was just keep them out of the end zone. Like, that's one of our core principles as a defense that Coach Brock brought here, and that should be a team, keep them out of the end zone. And there was a couple plays on that last drive. They drove it like 71 yards. It's kind of like a gut check, like, oh, they're getting close. And nobody wavered, nobody dropped their hat, dropped their head, and sat there in sadness. We had a couple bad plays, a couple people missed their assignments, and that's football. It happens, but everybody did exactly what they were supposed to do when it counted. So when they got down on the goal line, we obviously stuffed them on the 4th and 1, but they gave it to him.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I get it. But then they tried to push us, and it didn't work. And then they tried to give the running back the ball, it didn't work. And then they called a timeout.
Yeah.
And the timeout, I'm thinking, okay, like, we did our due diligence here. I'm thinking they're going to go for the field goal, tie it up, go to overtime.
Yeah. No.
Saw the offense come back out, and everybody just tightened their jaw and was like, all right, well, this is what we're doing. Like, this is what we've put so many hours in for, just to be in moments like this. And ultimately we came out on top and made the big play when we needed to.
Yeah, you see that ball go loose, the exchange goes wrong. What's the first thing going through your head when you see that ball out?
Well, from my perspective, I'm in the trenches, so I
You
can't
don't see
really
anything?
see much on that play. I know I just had to get as much penetration as possible. I'm a shorter guy. I have natural leverage, so
Mhm.
I tried to use my body to get underneath. You saw Dow in there. He's a big guy. He got underneath
Yeah.
it, and I know something good was happening when I felt the line shift horizontally and not vertical. That's how you
Okay.
know it's a good play. We got some push. It went horizontal, and I hear the crowd screaming, and I'm like, oh wow, well, if the crowd's screaming, we're at home, something good's happening. And I remember I looked up and I saw Jordan Wright just hauling down the field. So
Yeah.
I got up and I hauled down the field too.
What was it like getting to be on the field for a moment like that after Jordan's in the end zone? You've got the touchdown, the game's over, you guys won. Just what's that feeling like?
Man, it's just insane. Like, people play this game and they play it for a very long time if they're fortunate enough. And, like, me personally, like, I've never been a part of something like that. I've never got to, be a part of that. And just to be a part of that and just see all the excitement and everyone really happy and the fans happy, like, it's great, man. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that doesn't happen all the time. So, we're
Yeah.
just blessed to be in the position we're in.
Yeah. So looking back at these past few weeks here, it really seems like the team has started to just build some momentum. Obviously had those two big wins over FAU and Buffalo, then having this one, which, you're talking about being a character win. So what have the past few weeks been like for you guys as you guys have started to build up and continue to get this momentum going at this point in the season?
Honestly, like things are getting just more and more intense because we like I always tell you, we like to keep things in house and
Yeah.
keep things rolling. Like we show up to work every day, man. Like we cannot we're not afforded the same opportunities as everyone else to go out there and just have a average practice. You know what I mean? Like we're not afforded that like some other teams, Power Five teams, like they can do that sometimes. We can't do that. And we know that, we understand that, and we embrace it, and we go out and just prepare like a professional would.
Mhm. And speaking of, when we look back at that 4th and 1, we haven't seen you on many 4th and 1 packages. Are they working that in for the second half of the year here?
I mean, as you can see, the offense has been rolling. They've been doing a good job, especially in short yardage situations when they bring Darrell in to
Yeah.
run stretch or they bring Mel in to do different things. So I'm always available when the opportunity comes. I practice some offensive plays with the offense always. There's some
Yeah.
stuff in there, but the offense has been doing a pretty good job, so they haven't really needed me much. So that's
Yeah.
always a good thing.
I've got to ask because I think it might be one of my favorite clips from the year. And this is going back to the Buffalo game. And they put on social you guys eating the wings after the game. So take me through that moment a little bit. You guys win the game and there's just some wings waiting for you guys on the sideline.
I don't know where the wings came from. I just remember seeing the media team and they had a basket of wings and they were like, take one. And I was like, okay. So I took the wings and I think I said something absolutely crazy. But that went crazy everywhere
Yeah.
and that was fun.
No, I'm excited to see the recap video for this past weekend because I think this is going to be a really good one coming off the game Saturday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, our media team is so dope. Like they put in a lot of time. They got a lot of people up there, working really hard and they always give us the best content and put out the best content for our fans as well. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah. So knowing that the Buffalo and FAU had been, the score was, I don't want to say out of reach at half, but there was a comfortable margin there. Here on this past Saturday against Temple, you go into the locker room at half, up just a couple points in what was really been a grinded out game. What was the message from Coach Moore and the other coaches in the locker room at half in this past weekend's game?
Honestly, like, the coaches give us, their little spiel here and there, but the best teams are always player led.
Mhm.
And I feel like more so it was really the players, like all of us leaders really had the most to say because, like I said, like it's player led. Those are the most
Yeah.
successful teams, and I think we just kind of came together as an offensive defense. The captains, we had our little chat, and we tightened our jaw and went out there and fought it out in the second half because that was the biggest thing, man. Like you play the last two games, you show up to the fight, and the other team doesn't want to fight. But
Mhm.
now you show up for a fight this Saturday, and there's a team who's willing to punch back.
Yeah.
And we had to show them who was the big dog, and
Yeah.
we got it done.
Speaking of teams throwing a little bit of a fight there, can you take us through a little bit in the Buffalo game? What happened pregame there?
Man, I don't even know. It was just a lot of chatter. We're trying to do our warm up, and I don't know. I think there were some players that were like trying to act like they weren't
Mhm.
being troublesome, but they walk through our warm up, and anyone who plays football, like that's a cardinal sin. Like you don't walk through people's warm ups. You just kind
Yeah.
of here's your side, here's our side. Like I was saying, we just stayed poised as a team. Like we're gonna protect each other always. Nobody threw any punches or anything like that. It was all cordial at the end of the day, but it definitely put a battery on our back to go out there and earn our respect because still in this game of football, no one respects us. So you know what I mean? We just went out there and we made sure we earned our respect with our pads and with our play.
Yeah. Football season is here, and you know what that means. Tailgates. Make your next game day spread unforgettable with Martin Rosel's Meats. For over 96 years, they've been crafting the highest quality hot dogs, kielbasa, and sausages using fresh, never frozen meats sourced right here in the US. Whether you're grilling up at home or at the stadium, Martin Rosel's has the flavor that will make your tailgate the talk of the season. Visit martinroselsinc.com to find their products near you and to taste the tradition. Yeah, you talk a little bit about, the best locker rooms being player driven. We've seen in some videos you giving those pump up speeches. Who else, on that team are the vocal leaders that people look to? Whether it's, throughout the week during games itself. Who are kind of some of those more vocal leaders on the team?
It's a mix of everybody, and everybody has different roles. Like not everybody's a big talker. Some
Mhm.
people, they just lead by example.
Yeah.
And someone I like to highlight is like Chase Lunt. Like he's a guy who doesn't really say much, but Chase is always doing the right things,
Mhm.
and people look up to Chase for always doing the right things. So there's people who have different roles. Valentin Sen, he speaks up at times and says different things. My best friend Dal, he always says things here and there. It's just everybody has their own way of being a leader.
Yeah.
And I guess mine sometimes is saying stuff to people that they don't want to hear at times. And I mean, it gets the message across, and it's all love. Like that's the thing about our team. Like we hold each other accountable, but everybody knows that it's out of love. It's not out of hatred or jealousy or envy. It's all, I want to be good. I want you to be good. We want to be good. So that's what it's rooted in. It's never rooted in any kind of hate or disrespect.
Yeah, no, sometimes a little tough love needed out there.
Right.
So now, as I mentioned, at the halfway point of the year, 4-2, how do you feel like this first half has lived up to the expectations that you had for this team going into the season?
I mean, I had higher expectations for us just because, we worked so hard in the offseason, but, the work only gives you a chance at being
Mhm.
successful. We all know that and the way this game's played. But, I mean, I'm really happy about where we are. I'm really happy about the team. But, we're nowhere near where our potential is. We have so much more football to play. We have so many more opportunities to get better, especially this week having a bye week. So we're just looking forward to keep stacking days to make sure that we put up a good performance against Wake Forest next weekend.
Yeah, take us behind the scenes a little bit in terms of what the bye week is like from a player perspective and how it kind of differs from your standard game week.
Um, Maybe the load is maybe a little less just because
Mhm.
we have some guys that are coming back from injuries that
Yeah.
we didn't have during the beginning of the season. People are still recovering, and there's guys that are banged up on the team that need a little bit of a rest to make sure that they're good for when we start practicing really hard next week. And we still have practice, still have meetings, still have lifts, but I wouldn't say it's toned down, but it's just kind of like a little different. The
Yeah.
intensity is still the same though. It's still intense. We still got practice. Everyone's still flying around, running around, doing their job. So that's
Yeah.
really.
So kind of going forward here for the second half of the season, what are kind of the focus points? And I guess you could speak to it, especially from a defensive standpoint, that you're looking to kind of improve upon heading into this home stretch here.
I think the message and Coach Brock said this to us in the meeting, and it really stuck with me because he said it to the entire team and the entire defense is like, we have to get better at getting better.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like anybody can go out there and practice 70 million plays and rep of 70 million plays, but like if you're not repping them with an intent to get better, then you're never going to improve. And I think that's the big message going into these next couple practices leading up to Wake Forest is just getting better at football and getting better at being a leader, or getting better at, you know what I mean? Just getting better at those things. And I think that's really the big focal point moving on.
Yeah. Um, so as you look towards these final six games here, obviously the next couple years still at home, the crowds are starting to get better at the rent. You feeling that excitement there from the fans?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, granted, towards the end of the game, I saw there was a lot of people that starting to make their exit, probably thinking this is the old UConn football team, wasting away their opportunity and losing a game and things like that. But I mean, obviously we did our due diligence. We handled business. We got the win. So for anybody watching out there, man, we need to pack the rent for this one. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Like this is gonna be a monumental game for our program. And
Yeah.
we need everybody.
I know there's been the talk in the earlier part of the season when you played some of these power four opponents there in terms of like a little bit extra significance to them. Do you feel that coming into this game at home against Wake, having a power team here in Connecticut?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We look forward to games like these. I mean, this is what we all play college football for. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like these opportunities. You don't get them all the time. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that we put on our shoulders as players on this current UConn football team. Like I always tell the guys, like I think I might have mentioned this to you before. Not everybody has the opportunity to really build the foundation
Mhm.
of a successful program, like how you see the dynasties at Alabama and the Clemsons and things, things like that.
Yeah.
Like we're in a position right now where we can change the whole entire trajectory of this program.
Yeah.
And we understand that. And I think a lot of everybody on the team has embraced that. So we just kind of keep that in the back of our mind as we continue out through the season.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that right there, and I think it goes back to something you said when we were just talking about the crowds and some people maybe leaving a little bit early thinking this is old UConn. What's it like from your perspective getting to be a part of this team that is changing that discourse and how people think about UConn football? I mean, we see you guys starting to, move up in rankings, from those analytics perspectives, seeing yourselves, mentioned in bold discussions. So how does it feel to be a part of that team that really is starting to turn the conversation and start talking about UConn football in a different way?
It feels good, man. I mean, like I said, like not everybody gets that opportunity. And
Yeah.
even me just being a senior, like to do your big one in your senior year, like that's
Yeah.
what everybody's dream is, everybody's goal is. But I mean, aside from all the personal things for myself, man, I just want this team to be successful. Like I could care if I have one tackle a game for the rest of the year, but if we win out, like
Yeah.
that's all that matters to me. You know what I mean? Just putting on the best performance for this team, the team putting on the best performance for the state of Connecticut, for this program, for the fans. Like that's all that really matters.
Yeah. As the team has started to show some more success these past few weeks, how do you deal with that for a program you've gone through some tough times here. How do you not let like, some of these early successes get to you and maybe stay complacent versus you talking about getting better at being better?
Yeah, I think we do a pretty good job of ignoring the noise,
Mhm.
and Coach Mora is he does a really good job of explaining that to us when we have our team meetings and mentioning those things like, stay off Twitter. I mean, everyone uses Twitter, but
Yeah.
like don't sit there and just read the news clippings and think like we've arrived. Like we have not arrived because, it could be a situation where you win 4 games and then you go lose, however many
Yeah.
straight, like, you know what I mean? So we just do a pretty good job of just ignoring the noise and making sure we show up every day with the hard hat ready to work.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask as we're wrapping here, did you stay up through that the lightning delay last night for the Steelers?
I actually did.
Yeah, tough one.
Yes. Yeah, extremely tough.
Yeah.
But those are the games, man.
Yeah.
That's how those games always come down to the wire. That's how Pittsburgh plays football. They'll grind it out, but
Yeah.
it always comes down to the wire. So
Yeah. No, still a lot of season left, so get to see what they have in store for you.
right.
Well, Jelani, I really appreciate it. Enjoy some relaxation if you could get some this bye week and get ready for the second half of the season here.
Absolutely. Thank you.